I want to keep the good stuff that's worked for me over the past 25 years, and then I'm going to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work for me, right? Like, why do we hang on to things that we know? Why do we hang on to habits or choices that we know are going to come back to haunt us? Why do we keep making the same mistakes again and again and again and again? And that, you know what I mean? It's like the clock's on. We know we should at least a little bit know that if I do this, I don't like what happens. If I do that, I like what happens. You know what I mean? It's all about choices and results, right? So it's like, let's make better choices that make us feel better, you know, that motivate us to be passionate or to inspire, to do this or to do that. That's what I'm all about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the SJ Primetime Show. This is your host, SJ Primetime. January 3rd, 2020 it's a Friday night, about 9:30. Big Pats game in about 24 hours, a little less than 24, about 23 hours. I'm going to do a little preview there. Just going to kind of think out loud a little bit. Got a lot of thinking and processing I want to do at your expense. If you don't want to be here, get out. You know, it's one of the things too. I talk a lot, and I figured, you know, if I make my own podcast, that's a place for me to talk, you know? So it's like, if you don't want to listen, just get out of here. If you do, great. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys very much. Obviously, there's a big kind of gap between The Imposter episode 2 and right now. I'll be honest, man, I hit a little bit of a rut, a little bit of a lull. There was some feedback, and as I go back, we can go back right now and look at it. The comments are very mild. They're very minor. I talked about them a little bit in the second episode, but they kind of funked me out a little bit, man. I kind of got rattled, I'll be honest. And I let it get to me. And the reason I say that I let it get to me is because those guys didn't put me in a spot where I couldn't post, right? It wasn't like they said something to me to make me upset. It's like I allowed those guys to make me upset, right? That's one thing I want to acknowledge and sort of bring focus to, is that I allowed those guys to get to me, right? I gave them permission. I gave them access to get under my skin. It's not, well, this person made me mad because they said, it's like, no, time out. You allowed them to make you feel this way. Nobody makes you do anything. You make the choice, you make a decision, conscious or unconscious, to be influenced or not by a choice someone else makes. And one thing in 2020 that I'm going to do, that I've pledged to myself to do, is to dictate my own outcomes. And what I mean by that is that I get to control kind of what my outlook is, what my opportunities are, what my experiences are, kind of how I process things, right? I'm not going to let, for example, perfect example. I'm at work the other day. I'm vibing out. Good morning. I work in a school. Good morning. How are you? You know, making coffee, checking the mail. You doing what we do. How are you doing? It was a question that was asked me. You know, how's your year going? I said, you know what? It's actually going pretty darn good. I'm getting in a rhythm. I'm learning my students. I'm getting more comfortable in my community. I'm figuring out, you know, my role and how to use my skills and how to work on the things that are my weaknesses. And I'm feeling pretty damn good, to be honest. You know, how are you doing? You know, tell me a little bit about you. And in that moment, my mentor actually came in and said, hey, you know, where have you been? We've missed me. You know, what's going on? And it was like, oh, geez, apparently I'm not doing that good. Now, in the past, I would have gone into a shell like a turtle, and I would have thought, man, I would have overthought, I would have processed, I should have said this, I should have went, I should have apologized, and it would have consumed me. This interaction I had, this negative interaction I had with a colleague, would have consumed me for the day, for the week, for the month. And it's not even the colleague saying, hey, where have you been? What are you doing? It's me allowing that very brief and subtle and mild interaction really get to me and allow me to get rattled by it. Whatever that guy, he didn't know I was in the mailroom that day. So whatever, he didn't come into the mailroom trying to get into me and say, hey, where have you been? He didn't know I was in there. So whatever happened was a direct result of something that had just happened to him. You know what I mean? So like in that moment, it was less of a reflection of him being mad at me for something that I did. And it was more, in my opinion, a reflection of something that had just happened to him that he was just kind of taking out on me. So in other words, if you're having a bad day, Okay, I'm sorry. What can I do? But your bad day is not going to turn my good day into a bad day. Like, I refuse to allow someone else to dictate my outcome. Now, there are certain examples or circumstances that would prevent, these things from happening, right? If you have a loved one, something happened, that's going to dictate your outcome. You're going to be like, man, I'm sad because my wife is sad, or my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my partner or whatever, So within reason, I say it all the time to my girlfriend, man, if she, her vibe is my vibe. So if she's down, I'm down. So like, I get that. I'm not trying to say like be in your own lane at all times, but don't allow someone else's moment or negativity or anything like that trickle into your whole day after. And I'm preaching to the choir. Like, I'm not trying to tell you guys, hey, do this because I know, because I do it. Like, I don't. I'm practicing it though. And I'm finding that it's actually pretty easy to not even ignore negativity, not even to ignore what someone's saying or ignore feedback. I'm not saying that. Take it for what it is. It's just feedback. It's just an opinion by one person. It's important. It's valid. You might get something from it, but then, take it for what it is and then discard it and move on. Like, take the good stuff from it, take the positive feedback or whatever you're going to make work for yourself, and then get rid of all the other stuff and then carry on about your day and don't dwell or overthink. Another example is when we call out sick. I might be in the minority, I don't know, but when I call out sick, I'm not like, sweet, I'm calling out sick, I'm done for the day. I stress, I worry, man, what are my guys at school, how are they having to pick up from my side? I stress more sometimes calling out sick than if I would have just showed up. Well, why is that? We have sick days. Why do we feel guilty about using them? You know what I mean? Like, why do we feel bad about something that we're provided? It's just something I'm trying to be better at. It's like, I want to control my feelings a little bit. I want to be in control of my own body and mind a little bit more. And so I'm going to try to let the trivial stuff just go. It's like, if someone flips me off on the road, in the past, I've been like, man, that guy, and it's like, I'm still talking about that guy when I'm home 2 hours later. And it's like, this guy is in your living room now because you're mad about it. Let it go. Let it go. And it's much easier to say, than it is to do, but it's just, I don't know. I'm trying, man. We out here, we're trying, and I would encourage you guys to try too, man. It's hard. I mean, I did 2 episodes. I had 99 out of 100 people were saying, man, that was awesome. I want more. Man, I'm proud of you, dude. You're doing it. You're trying. And I had like 1 or 2 people say, wow, you're selfish. You're an asshole. You're not doing it for the right reasons. Or it's like, and I went into a shell, man, like a, I don't even want to say like a baby because it's real, man. People say things and it hurts and it sticks. And it's like, man, I wish you wouldn't say that. That hurt my feelings, especially when you're trying to do, at least in your heart and your soul, you're doing things for the right reason. So, I mean, listen, let's just be mindful. Let's be thoughtful. That's one of my goals this in 2020 is to be more deliberate in terms of who and when and where and why are my feelings the way that they are. I'd rather be happy. I'd rather be laughing. I'd rather be silly. And there are obviously times that you need to be serious and you need to have certain, attitudes, or you need to go into certain situations with focus or intensity or whatever the case may be. But I get to decide what, you know what I mean? I'm in control. I'm not going to let someone else mess with me. I was just talking to my buddy. He's all mad. His boss is on his back. And oh my God, I can't do my job. I said, dude, why are you doing what you do? Is it for your boss? Is it to make your boss happy? Did you go to school to make this person happy? Or did you go to school because you're in a field that you feel confident in and you feel like you're competent and that you're making a difference in the world and impact? This particular person was a colleague and it was like, listen, do your students know you love them? Do your students know you're trying hard? Okay, so then who cares about anything else? Like, it's like if you're a home builder, if the person you're building the home for is happy, okay, great. Like if your supervisor's a jerk, okay. Are you trying to perform? Are you trying to build beautiful quality homes and things like that for your customers? Or are you trying to impress your boss? Like, who are you trying to impress? I mean, for me personally, it's my students, it's my family, it's myself. In that order, kind of. I mean, not in that order necessarily, but the order kind of shifts sometimes because sometimes I need to put myself before I put anybody else. Sometimes I need to put my family before, but it's okay to prioritize and to reprioritize those things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, man. Got a lot to say, a lot to think about. Actually, I wanted to pause for a second and congratulate I'm gonna just interrupt thoughts with thoughts, and I don't have a script. Eventually, guys, I'm gonna get a camera, and I'm gonna show you what this thing looks like and where I'm at and what I'm doing. But right now we don't. But literally, I have my laptop in front of me, my mic. I have my cell phone here. I actually have my school laptop with me as well. I'm gonna play some of my cousin's album, but I don't have a script. I'm just going. I'm just thinking. I'm talking. I'm vibing. It's very organic. And but the reason I brought that up is because my sister and her fiance, they just got engaged. Shout out. Love you guys very much. But he's gonna be my brother soon. My brother-in-law Kurt. He made a comment at Thanksgiving. He said, "Man, I listened to the first couple." He said, "Bro, those were deep. Those are heavy. Like, I didn't realize, what I was kind of getting into." But he also said something about being a little more structured and organized. And in that moment, I was like, man, I don't want to hear the negative feedback. I'm not ready. I didn't ask for it. Like, he just brought it up in Thanksgiving. I was just trying to chill and just eat the turkey and relax. But here we are. He's telling me, man, I like this, but I wish you could do, you know what I mean? I was like, ugh, I kind of cringed, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to be receptive to this as a person who's trying to create something. I'm going to be open to, to the feedback. And he had suggested being a little more organized and being a little more kind of just, I don't think he used the word coherent, but that's kind of what I gathered. It was just be a little more structured, a little more purposeful. And I think that's where we're headed, right? That's where we want to go. But for now, it is I use the term raw and intimate in the intro, and it is because I'm not a professional. I just got a new apartment. I'm in a spare bedroom. I got some equipment. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm not a professional at this. So, but I do want to say that Kurt, soon to be my brother, he's one of the most, how do I want to say this, man? He's the most, not even unique, but he's the most true person. Kurt, if you're listening, this is one thing that I actually Sarah kind of recognized and called out. I recognized it from afar, but she's the one that kind of put the words she said, Kurt is someone I've never met someone, and I'm paraphrasing, that is as true to themselves as Kurt is, right? I learned this term in college called code shifting, and it's when we put on different masks or hats in different contexts. Now, of course, I don't mean actual hats or actual masks, but think, for example, if you're talking to, if I'm a high school football coach and I'm talking to the quarterback, hey, come on, get your head in the game. Come on, son, focus. That might be the tone or the language that I would use. If I was talking to my nephew, Charlie, I would say, what's up, little boy? What's up, buddy? Hey, hello, how are you doing? The code is switched, right? The language is different. The tone is, everything's different. So for us as people, right, when we're in school, we talk one way. When we're at the dinner table at grandma's house, we talk another way. When we're with our friends, we talk one way. When I was first meeting my beautiful partner, I acted different than I did in front of my buddies because I was nervous and I was embarrassed, right? My students do it all the time. If it's just a group of 4 or 5 boys, everything's cool. Or 4 or 5 girls, everything's cool. And then once you kind of mix, then they start being influenced by other people. You start acting different ways around different people. My sister's boyfriend, soon-to-be husband, is a guy who, I'm not saying he doesn't code switch and he doesn't adapt to his surroundings, because he does, but he's a guy that doesn't give a fuck about he's just so true to himself, man. And it's like, I just respect that and admire that so much, man. And it's easy to, I shouldn't say it's easy, because you make it look easy, bro. You know what I mean? You make it look easy, but you have this aura about you that I don't know, I admire, I applaud. I'm trying to take a little bit of it and make it my own in a way. You know what I mean? So I see you, Kurt. I hear your feedback. I'm mindful of it. I'm trying to get better. But with that being said, this is the least organized shit we've ever done. You know what I'm saying? There's no organization. There's no game plan. There's no bullet points. There's no blueprint. There's none of that. This is off the cuff. We just out here just spitballing. You know what I mean? So, that's one thing I want to do too, though, is like, I feel, so today, this is a real example. Today at the middle school I work at, there was an elementary school in our district. Gas line broke, okay? We had to shuttle kids to our middle. Everything went amazing. It was awesome. The kids were great. The staff were great. It was collaborative. It was crazy. As you can imagine, you have 2 different schools and then you combine. It was just, how are we going to do breakfast? How are we going to do lunch? Dismissal, buses, transition times. It was wild, but it wasn't, because the students and the staff stepped up their game. Now, I was in the lunchroom around lunchtime, believe it or not, and there was a student, and she said, oh my goodness, that's Miss Bossy. That was my first grade teacher. Oh my, there she is, because the elementary school teachers were escorting the younger kids and yada, yada, yada. And I said, wow, that was pretty, that was pretty cool, man. Like, you just saw her and you just naturally, you lit up. You got, your voice was, oh my gosh, Miss Bossy. You got excited. You got vocal. You got, and I said, does she know? Does Miss Bossy know that you love her? Like, does she know the type of impact she had? And the student said, no, I haven't talked to her since first grade. And I said, you might want to go touch base with her, because that might make her feel good. That might make her smile. That might make her day. That might make her whole life. You don't know. And that's one thing that I encourage one student to do today, and one interaction, one moment. But it's one thing I want to encourage everybody listening, everybody to do. If you have a friend or a family member or a stranger or a colleague, and you like the way that they're, the way they do things, or they approach things, or you respect them, or you learn something from them, or you just admire them, or you're like, you know what? I like those sneakers, man. That's a nice pair of sneakers. Like, that's okay. Let them know. And one thing I've learned, if I go back a little bit to the episode 1, is I got these buddies, man, and I think about them constantly, man. And it's like, dude, those guys are good men, good young men. I'm speaking for myself, right? But part of me doesn't even feel like it's appropriate for me to speak, because I didn't grow up with them from kindergarten. Like, there are other people that can speak probably more appropriately or closer to these guys. But you know what? I had a relationship with them. I love them. They impacted my life. It is what it is. Okay. So with that being said, I think, I wish I could have told, and I did, I wish I could have told Sean, bro, and I did tell him, but I told him when I first met you, I didn't really like you. I didn't really like you, Sean. And I'll tell you why, because I was threatened by it, because you were funny. I thought you were like, just kind of a Squidward. It's like, man, what is this? How is he the most popular kid? He's got the best looking girls. He's the funniest kid. I was rubbed the wrong way by you because I was threatened and I was fearful. And then I got to know you. I was like, man, I just admire you, bro. You know what I mean? And I think it's so important that we tell people, that you let people know, I love you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We joke, the coaching staff, we joke, yeah, appreciate you. But that shit, that's real. That is real stuff, man. We live in we say it sometimes as teachers, it's a thankless job. It's like, man, this is a thankless world, man, that we're living in, man. Everyone's just trying to out for themselves, trying to protect their own, which I understand, I get. But it's like, man, we gotta take care of each other. We're all we got. I'm looking at the recording, 17 and a half minutes, man. The clock is on. You see what I'm saying? This is it. There's no I don't want to get into a political or religious debate. There's no do-overs. You feel me? Like, this is it. So you got to go. You got to get after it. And you know what? And that's why I'm like, if I get knocked down, I'm going to get up. And it sounds so corny and cliche, but I'm telling you, it's so hard to do, man. It's so hard to do. People say, SJ, you're perfect for a podcast. You're perfect for it. Oh my, and it's like, man, yeah, I might look it, but it doesn't feel it sometimes, but you got to overcome that, and you got to own it and know it, and know, you know what? I am perfect. This is my role. This is my shit. I'm taking it by the horns and I'm doing it. And if someone says, oh, you're not good, or you suck, you know what? Okay. Yeah, maybe I sucked on that one, but the next one's going to be even better, and I'm going to blow you away. So I want to encourage you guys, if you want to be artistic, if you want to record, if you want to, write a book, if you want to, get an extra degree, or go back to school, or change your career, or have a kid, or do it. Go for it, man. Go for it. That's literally all I'm trying to do is go for my own goals, because I have my own things I want to do, but I also want to encourage you or anyone else along the way as I go by telling you that you can do it, man. I believe in you, because I truly do, but also by showing you, like, man, I can do it too. Look at me. I got a podcast. I got my own show. It's like, yeah, okay. I did create it from scratch. Like, anyone can make their own show, but it's like, you know what? No, I did that, and you can never take that away from me. You can never, ever, ever take that away from me, man. So I just want to encourage you guys to kind of do the same. Chase your goals, chase your dreams, no matter how silly or minute or unrealistic they may be. Just get after it and find people that are supportive to you, man. Find people that are supportive. I got a great network of buddies and that are super supportive for me. And so I'm going to lean on them. And actually, ironically, my phone, which I just dropped, is Sarah. She fixed it for me, but it was out of commission for the last like 7 hours of today. It was like spinning weird. It was like glitched out. And it was almost a blessing because that's like the audience I'm trying to appease is like these people, maybe I know them, maybe I don't, but it's just I'm so influenced or impacted. I think we all are at times. It's like we gotta let that go and just lean on our support. It's like, why do we put more stock in one person that is negative than we do in like 100 people that are positive? 100 people that are close to us and that are positive. I had friends, family, my mother, my father, like the closest people in my life. I even had students and kids that I coach currently and the kids that I've coached in the past. That's who I'm trying to impact. Those are the people that said, man, keep it up. So it's like, those are the only people I'm trying to quote unquote impress anyway. So why do I put any stock into a random YouTube commenter's take? Why do you put stock into that? I did it, so I'm not trying to say what are you doing? What am I doing? What are we doing? Let's get out of our own way. So I guess I'm going to promise you guys that I personally am going to grow. I grew in 2019. I'm growing, man. I'm growing. I'm going to grow in 2020 in real time with you guys, okay? And I just hope that even if one person says, man, I'm going to grow too in this way or that way, or I'm going to try this or I'm going to try that. I've been talking about this, and I know I mentioned that in the first or second, but I'm ready to do. I'm ready to do, man. And I'm ready to, and I know that it's not going to be easy, that there's going to be some pushback, or it's not going to all be smooth, and, but I think I've got a good kind of compass, and I kind of know where I'm going a little bit. Like I said, I don't have any plans really, but I'm heading north. I'm heading up. I'm heading, whatever. But I'm heading onward, and I'm progressing. And I'm starting to get after some of the things that I want to get after because, like I said, the clock's on. So if you guys want to write a book, if you want to make a podcast, you got my support. I think it's, if not now, when? Right? If I'm not going to make the SJ Primetime show, who is? Right? So let's get after it, man. Let's get after it, baby. I'm gonna play some of my cousin's music here just for a second, just kind of switch the gears up a little bit. Just kind of switch the gears up a little bit, you know what I mean? They just had a new album come out, Of One Mind. Check them out, man. They're badass. No hesitation. You guys know this one, obviously. Come on. I think the thing that draws me to that one is that she talks about you wake up this morning, and I started thinking that I had a choice to make. It's like, yeah, we have choices, man. We have choices, and we we choose to make the wrong ones, or we choose to make ones that we know won't make us feel good. Example, I love video games. I love to play Xbox and PlayStation. I love Mario and Madden. I love it. I love it. And I come home and I most often I'll play a game of Madden or football, because for me that's like a mindfulness practice exercise. I've come to a realization that if I look at all the games I have and that I've bought and all the hours I've played and all that, it's like, man, yes, it's been a good practice for me over the years, on a rainy day, or to, if I'm having a bad day, just kind of plug into my game, or maybe just escape, or whatever the case is. But what do I have to show for it? Now, I'd like to think I have a lot of positive things to show for, the choices I've made in my life, but it's like, man, maybe I could spend a little bit less time on the video games, a little more time reading, or a little more time writing, or a little more time doing this or that. And it's like we make the choice to not do that. Or it's like we make the choice to say, nah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm the worst at that. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it first thing in the morning. And then what happens? The morning comes and you say, I'll do it after work. And then what happens? I mean, it's like we know we set ourselves up. We know what's going to happen if we make this choice. We know the result will be this. Yet we make choices and we're not happy with the results. Talking to my older friends, my older folks, how many of you guys have said, I'm never drinking again? I mean, I've been in that boat, right? We say, it's like we know we don't like this result when you drink way too much and you don't eat properly, you don't hydrate properly, you wake up really sick and you don't feel good and you say, I'm never doing this again. So you know what's going to happen if you make that choice, but yet, and you know you don't like the result, but we continue to do it, right? Because how many times have you actually said, I'm never doing this again, but we do it again? And I'm not trying to say that I don't do that or I'm not a part of that, because I am, right? But we collectively need to overcome that and and I'm not saying you have to make better choices, man. Do whatever you want with your choices, but I'm just saying I'm making the conscientious decision to understand that the clock is on, right? And I don't need any more moments to say, man, I got to wake up. People all the time have, they're drinking and driving and they have a really bad accident and then they come and then they survive, or and then they go to rehab and then they realize, man, I got to stop drinking. And they have it was the accident that had to take place for them to realize. It's like you almost need trauma to have success. It's like we overcome these bad experiences, right? And I talked about that a little bit, and I'm not trying to say my experiences are worse or better or easier or anything like that than anyone else's. They're my experiences and it's my trauma. It is what it is, okay? And I'm not trying to minimize or maximize or anything like that. It's a reality of the situation. But, I think it's important that you're able to kind of identify it for what it is and then overcome it and make better choices, right? I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit, but I think the whole premise is, when are you going to do it? You're going to wait. I was talking to someone about this. Like, I don't have great eating habits. I live 2 minutes from a Wendy's. I eat McDonald's. I mean, it's like, I have a history of heart failure in my family. I have a history of, this, and that. It's like, so what? I'm going to wait until I have a heart attack from eating so many cheeseburgers to stop eating so many cheeseburgers? Like, I'm going to wait for a catastrophic event in my physical or like my dietary. I'm waiting for something bad to happen there, or I have, clogged arteries or something like that, and then I'm going to make better healthy choices. Like, why do we need the traumatic experience to happen? Why can't we just understand, hey, I want to make better choices for myself? Like, why do we need to get in that accident or have something really bad happen in order to spark? And now I get why the spark happens. It's almost like we need to hit rock bottom before we can kind of reach our full potential. Like, I get that, but I'd rather just go up from where I'm at. I don't need to go down to go up. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to go in to go out. I'm not going to go up to go down. I'm not going to go down to go up. I'm going to go up to go up. Like, let's just go up. I already know if I have too much to drink and I don't eat or drink water, I'm going to feel like crap the next day. Like, I already know if I don't work out for, a month, 2 months, 3 months straight, and then I run a marathon in that 4th month, I know I'm going to get sick. I'm not going to feel good. Like, I know that result. So why do I make the choices that lead to that result? Why do I read the comments on YouTube? I know that I'm going to get rattled by something someone said. Why do I, so it's about being intentional with my decision making. Intentionality. We talked about that. Being thoughtful and matching up who I think I want to be. I know who I want to be. I want to be confident. I want to be secure in my professional role, in my family. I want to feel security and safety and confidence. Like, we all want to feel these things, right? We all want, clean water, warm house. Like, we all pretty much want the same stuff. So it's like, how can we access it? How can I make that happen for myself? It's my life. I want to take control of it. I don't want to be someone that complains all the time about someone. Oh, this person's so mean. It's like, all right, tell them, confront them. Say, hey, I don't appreciate when you do this. I had a colleague come up to me this year and say, hey, I really don't appreciate what you just did. And I was so caught off guard. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I hate confrontation. This is so hard for me. And I took it and I got better. And I was like, man. And then me and this colleague, we didn't skip a beat. An hour later, we chatted and then it's all good. And we're better. And I have much more respect for this person as a result of it. So it's like, man, face your fears, go after it, get after it. I don't know, man. It's good vibes. That's all. It's good vibes, man. Let's go. It's good vibes, man. I appreciate you guys so much. If you're still hanging in 31 minutes in, just listening to this ramble, hopefully you can make some sense of it and know that it's thought out. I don't just click record and go. I mean, I frame it that way because that's the reality of it. But I've thought this out. I've talked it out loud. I've written this stuff down. So it's not like I'm coming in here just kind of winging it. I have a lot of life, a lot of thoughts that I want to get out and things of that nature. I just am grateful for you guys, man. Seriously. And it goes back to telling Kurt, you are one of the most truest men I've ever met. And I learned from you, bro. Straight up. I learned from you. And I'm trying to add a little bit of that component to my own recipe. My football coach in high school, Jeff Garrett. This guy is awesome, man. I could dedicate a whole podcast to what this guy means and what he's done, and I won't. I could, coach, yes, coach, but I take little pieces of things that he does, the way he does this, the way he says that as a coach, and I implement it in my own coaching. I take little pieces of all my friends and not all of them, right? The things I like, the things that I want to make work for me, and then I try to make them work for me, right? That's what this is all about. I was talking to Sarah about 2020, and I'm such a cheeseball, man. I'm such an analogist. I try to turn everything into an analogy or try to visualize it, but I talked about 2020. I talked about my life being like a bulldozer, right? So try to bear with me. I know we don't have any visuals right now, but imagine you're a bulldozer, right? And you're zero, and then your life starts, and the bulldozer starts going. And as your life goes, you gain experiences, you gain relationships, you gain knowledge, you gain whatever. And that is like the debris or the stuff that the bulldozer kind of picks up as you go. And so we're going. And now, year 1, year 2, year 3, now year 10, year 20, we got all this stuff. And each year is like a hard reset. And I promised myself, this year, I'm going to take my bulldozer and I'm going to clean it out, man. I'm going to clean out the fudge or the crud and the stuff, the debris that I don't like, and I'm going to keep the stuff that I do like. And what I mean by that is, my professional relationships, where I'm at professionally, teaching right now, the coaching positions that I currently occupy, like the relationships I occupy, all the work that I've put in to get to that point of that relationship. Any of the bad vibes in those relationships or any of the bad calls I've made as a coach or any of the bad experiences, I don't totally get rid of them because they're a part of and they're a product of where I currently am at. But I'm not taking that stuff with me into 2020. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm getting new stuff on my bulldozer belt, on my bulldozer blade, if you will. It's like we're pushing through, and I want to keep the good stuff that's worked for me over the past 25 years, and then I'm going to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work for me, right? Like, why do we hang on to things that we know? Why do we hang on to habits or choices that we know are going to come back to haunt us? Why do we keep making the same mistakes again and again and again and again? And that, you know what I mean? It's like the clock's on. We know we should at least a little bit know that if I do this, I don't like what happens. If I do that, I like what happens. You know what I mean? It's all about choices and results, right? So it's like, let's make better choices that make us feel better, that motivate us to be passionate or to inspire, to do this or to do that. That's what I'm all about. So, if you're 34 minutes in, okay, I appreciate you, man. Seriously, I appreciate you a lot. Let's listen to another song. You guys want a spotlight? Whatever did I do? I must say, Brave. Let's go Brave. Let's go Brave right now. Let's mix this one. We're gonna go Brave. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got a little ad action, a little cute baby. Speaking of cute baby, shout out to my nephew. He's a cute baby. He's good vibes, man. He's a good little dude. He's a good little dude. Okay. 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 Commenting right now.
I'm really unsure.
Okay.
But I gotta be brave. I'm really unsure. But I gotta be brave. Sometimes I think that I must be crazy choosing path of a lonely wood. When sheep begin to rise and they open up their eyes, they start to see the truth. I'm really unsure. But I gotta be brave to face the unknown. I found a new way. How can you go alone is what they ask me when my trail begins to blaze. I know this is crazy, but I'll trust I'll know the way. I'm really unsure, but I gotta be brave to face the unknown. I'll find a new way. Save me, have me, take me, keep me safe.
Oh, man. Dude, that is the vibes, man. Let me tell you something. Find a musician, find a band, find someone that inspires you. I'm sure we all got our mixes and Lizzo. Can we talk about Lizzo for a second? Can we talk about? We were going. A buddy of mine, a good friend of mine. Shout out Rue Dog, the Rue man. The Rue Dog and I were sitting out back. The ladies were up front. Excuse me, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try this new. Her name's Lizzo." I said, "Who?" They said, "Oh, you're gonna learn today." So they put the Lizmeister on. They do the I do my hair toss, check my nails, baby, how you feel? And I'm going, oh, okay. And by the end of it, as you can tell, I was already singing the song. I can't hide it. I love Lizzo. She inspires me. I feel so empowered by her. I'm dead serious. Like, that woman has got it where she just gets after it, man. She just has a pulse that is just, it's contagious, man. And it was like, I literally mocked, my girlfriend and Keegan's girlfriend was like, yeah, she's great. And by the end of it, it's like, I'm feeling good as hell. It's just like, man, this is good vibes. So find yourself music that you connect with, man. If you're feeling down, play it, vibe out, get yourself in a rhythm. It's like, I know that if I listen to this song, I get hyped. If I listen to this song, I get sad. So I'm going to try to develop a playlist that gets me excited and inspired and listen to that more and obviously there's certain situations and contexts but it's like, when I do this, I like it when this happens. Like, let's do more of that. Let's try to feel good and be consistent with our approach, a little bit more. And I guess that's a good transition, a good segue in terms of being consistent with your approach. I think one of the most consistent approaches over the years has been that of Coach Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Now, I promised you guys initially this wouldn't be a sports deal, and it's not by any means, but I'd be lying. I'd be a fool if I said that I didn't have stakes in the game tomorrow night at historic Gillette Stadium. Man, I don't even know where to begin. I'll tell you where I'll begin, and it's frustrating for me. I'm gonna change the tempo a little bit here. Because it's not even frustrating. Okay, I'll tell you what. I get frustrated when my socks get wet. I get frustrated when when there's a little bit of orange juice left. Sarah, put the orange juice back in the fridge when there was a little bit. It's like, just finish it off or throw it away. Like, that makes me frustrated. When my socks get wet, I'm frustrated. When there's no towel, and I'm in the shower and I get out of the shower and there's no towel, I didn't grab a towel, there's no towel hanging up, I get frustrated. When I wake up a little bit late, I get frustrated. When people talk about Tom, let me take a step back. When people talk about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., I get infuriated, man, because I'll tell you why. And I'm finding myself, I don't want to be hypocritical, okay, and I don't want to be talking out of both sides of my mouth, which is something that I've done in the past, and I want to be better at that, because I have been the biggest LeBron hater, sports hate ever. The decision. He killed my Celtics early in his career. He's going to Miami. He's going back to Cleveland now. He's going to LA. It's like, man, I can't stand you. It's all sports hate, though, because now I'm realizing, you know what? This guy's special, talking about LeBron. And honestly, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit even saying this. But you know what? It doesn't, because you got to take a step back. You got to take off your glasses, your goggles, your blinders, whatever you got on. Right? For me, it's my New England glasses, because I just love all New England. Okay, LeBron's great, and I got to appreciate that. And he's going to retire one day. And I got to kind of enjoy it while it's around, and at least enjoy the competition, or enjoy the hate. Enjoy hating him. Right? I can't wish that he's gone, because once he's gone, it's going to be like, man, I miss having that guy around. I got to appreciate and respect and understand greatness as it appears in real time in front of me. So one thing that really, really pisses me off, okay, is when people say, this is it for Brady. This is it for Tom. This is it. They're done. They're all done. Get your tickets. It's the last game. It is so frustrating because it's like, listen, pal. First of all, what a hot take. Because you've been saying the same damn thing for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years. You've been talking about Brady getting up there in age since he was 34. We got a quarterback who's nearing the age of 35, right? I can hear the reports back when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade. It's like, Brady, is your quarterback? He's 38 years old. How can he's breaking down physically? I mean, are you kidding me? Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to say he has had a fantastic season because he hasn't. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he has been the Tom that we have seen traditionally in the past. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses and say, no Gronk, they had AB. I mean, I kind of am by even bringing it up, but I'm not going to talk about the weapons. I'm not going to talk about any of that because right now, to me, that doesn't matter. What matters is you got to take a step back, look at the big picture. I say we, I'm talking about New England fans. We know this thing ain't going to last forever. What do you guys think or not think? Like, do you think we don't watch the games? Do you guys think that when I say you guys, I'm referring to any of the other 31 fan bases. Do you fans think that New England Patriot fans don't understand the dynamics at play? Do you not? Like, don't undermine me, right? Don't undermine me and say, oh, you're spoiled. You don't know. Man, get out of here. Get out of here with that narrative. It's infuriating. I'm not frustrated, man. I'm infuriated because don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful to Bill or Tom. Now, listen, those guys, they don't need me to bang the drum and say, man, don't be picking on my quarterback and coach. It's disrespectful to the game of football. So if you're sitting here saying, the game, I love the game, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Lions, whatever your team is, respect the game. Because I love football more than I love the Patriots, okay? First and foremost, I fell in love with the game of football before I fell in love with my favorite professional team, okay? It's just one phase of the game, right? There's professional football in the United States. There's professional football in Canada, overseas. I mean, there's then there's college football. Then there's different levels of college football. Then there's amateur, and then there's high school, and then there's middle. So it's like, don't let the Patriots cloud your judgment of the game. You're making the Patriots bigger than the game itself, which is your first mistake. The local radio show host even said it tonight. He said, man, I put more stock. I watch the Pats games. He's not even a Pats fan. More intensely than any other game. Guys, take a deep breath. I need to take a deep breath right now. I'm getting so worked up. Take a deep breath. It's going to end. It's going to end. Tom's going to retire. Tom's going to leave one day. You know what I'm saying? He's going to go. It's not if he goes. It's when. He's going to leave. Bill will leave. The only thing with Bill is he's got another chick, another Belichick who looks, talks, walks, sounds just like him and Steve. So you might have a Belichick in that mix for another, handful of decades, but we know what the outcome is. We know what's going to happen. Don't sit here and say, oh, that's it. What a hot take, man. That's like me at Christmas saying, Nana, listen, I love you, but let's really soak this one in. You feel me? Nana, I love you. I want to watch you open your gift, pose with it, smile. I'm going to take a picture because, Nana, this could be it. Hey, Nana, Grandpa, listen. We've had a lot of Christmases here. You guys have hosted, right? Lot of Christmas. Let's just, hey, this could be it, man. Let's all join hand in hand. All right. It's like, what? No! We approach it just like any other one. Right? And then you get through it and you win, it's a good one or it's not a good one. And then you just kind of do what you do and get ready for the next year. But you don't sit there and project or predict or speculate on when Nan's going to die, do you? So why that? And there's no question. It's going to happen. So just sit tight. Enjoy the Christmas while you got, you know what I mean? It's like, why are we so... And I get it's a societal thing. It's more of a systemic thing. Like, who's going to get it? It's like Jimmy was drafted like 6 years ago. Or, what was it? Like 2000 and... What year was Jimmy drafted? Was it 14? 15? Something like this. Like, it seems like he's been in San Francisco for 10 years. It's forever ago. It's a lifetime ago. I honestly believe Tom is going to re-sign. And maybe it's a year-to-year. Maybe it's a year-to-year-to-year deal. Tom said, these are his words, I will stop playing football when I suck. Okay? Did Tom Brady suck for Tom Brady this past year? Maybe. Maybe. Me personally, I can justify why he didn't, but I won't get into that right now. Okay? Was he below Tom Brady average? Absolutely. Absolutely. Did he suck? Well, I can hear some people, no, he suck, yeah, he can't even throw an open receiver, Did he suck? Really, though? I don't know. I don't think so. And I don't think, too, Brady is going to take his last regular season L at home to Miami. He's not going to let that happen. He's not doing that. He's not. It's just not going to happen that way. So stop trying to enjoy your Nana, man. And Nana, if you're listening, I love you. You're one of the most. You're just the best Nan. You're funny. You're spunky. You look like you're about 52. I mean, you look like $1 million, right? But we don't sit there and say, "Hey, listen, let's smell the roses on this one, guys. This could be it. Let's just enjoy it. We know what we do. We show up at Christmas, right? We do the gifts. We do the exchange. It's par for the course. We know what we're doing. It's business as usual. So in terms of the Patriots, man, I expect nothing less. It's business as usual. After that Miami game, I was pretty distraught as well, but there's two different realities as a Patriots fan. There's reality, and then there's like the Patriots reality. Okay? Patriots reality right now is that, man, we're done. We've lost 3 out of 5. We've lost to every bad team that we've played. The only exception being Buffalo. Okay? We've beat teams we should beat. We lose to teams we should beat. We lose to teams we should lose to. I mean, it's like, man, we played great defense early against bad quarterbacks, bad competition. It's like, God, they haven't really shown us a ton, right? Tennessee's won like 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 9. They're hot. Coach Vrabel's got those guys playing at the right time for the right reasons. You remember a couple weeks ago they held Derrick Henry out, helped me win a fantasy chip, right? But it was almost like, what are they doing? Are they back? They need him. They've got depth. They've got physical defense. We don't need to break down the position and all that, and we'll get into some key matchups and what have you in the next couple minutes. But the Patriots' reality is this thing's done. We're done. And I shouldn't say the Patriots reality because there are some Patriots fans. I don't want to lump all of us together. Some are reasonable, some aren't. I'm reasonable. Sometimes I'm not reasonable. So I'm in a bunch of different categories myself. But as a Pats fan, we're so accustomed to whether it's just a reality of our situation. We traditionally have first round bye. So when you're playing Miami, you expect to win the game. And when you don't, it's a nightmare. It is like, oh my, the sky's falling. What are we doing? So initially the reaction is, yup, we're done. That's it. Tommy ain't Tommy no more, right? The real reality is that we have a home playoff game against Tennessee. Now, I'm probably in the minority, and I think that this is going to sound crazy and I'm someone that can justify, at least try to justify any situation to try to spin it so it's a positive, and here's how I'm going to try to do that. We beat Miami. We get out of there barely with a win, or, we have a false sense of bye. We're hosting. It's like, man, we didn't need a week off. And I don't think Bill necessarily would have given a week off, but we didn't need that. We didn't want that. What we needed was another opportunity against a really good football team in a favorable situation at home, okay, to try to create or recreate, try to find some sort of spark offensively. We know how special this defense can be when it's playing ahead. A lot of defenses obviously play better when they're ahead, but I think, in the secondary, this team is designed to play with a lead and to just dominate and control that lead. So that's obviously a huge key to the game, is getting out early and building a little bit of a lead so that defense can try to protect it. I think we needed this game because if we don't beat Tennessee, we don't get to the Super Bowl, but it's like, I think our chances skyrocketed by it sounds crazy, but not giving a week off, giving the offense an opportunity, like I said, to in real time develop a rhythm in a playoff atmosphere, and to kind of show a Kansas City or a Buffalo or a Baltimore or whoever they match up with. It's going to be Kansas City if they win this game. Kind of like what they can do. And we haven't really seen Philly Dorsett. We haven't really seen Mohamed Sanu. We haven't really seen we've seen N'Keal Harry evolve and develop late. we haven't really seen a full complement of those guys together. It's almost like, all right, we're going to kind of feature this guy here. We're going to feature this guy there. Obviously, Edelman's targets have been way down the last couple of weeks, but I think it's playoffs. And so they're going to do what they can to win the football game. Now, do I think that they're going to win the game? Yes, of course I do. They've given me... Okay, let me pause. They've given me some pretty reasonable evidence as to why I would doubt that they win the game this year. But over the past 20 years, and I know I can't base this game off of history because they don't have Willie McGinnis. Teddy Bruschi's not walking through that door, right? Ty Warren doesn't have his hand in the ground. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that how many times are we going to make a decision, right? The same decision over and over and expect a different result, right? At a certain point, that's called what? It's called insanity. So, and I'm not sitting here saying that the Pats are unbeatable because they are very beatable as we saw. But I do think that the reality is that they are a very good football team. The New England Patriots this year have a very good football team. You can try to carve it and slice it however you want. That's fine. There was a couple of really inopportune, flat, we've been on the positive side of it. So there was a million plays in a football game that helped decide the outcome. So in no way, shape, or form am I trying to say we got screwed against Kansas City, right? Baltimore pretty much had their way with us. There's a couple plays in that game that I think could have swayed things. And the reality of the situation is we lost those football games, but we have an opportunity to play them again. We got an opportunity tomorrow night against Tennessee at home. Okay, Belichick, Vrabel, Brady, Tannehill. And by the way, Tannehill, the kid's playing lights out. I think, you got to give Coach Vrabel a ton of credit for making that switch. Mariota going to Tannehill late in the year. It's spooky, honestly, the matchup. I love the Titans' offensive line. I love what those guys do. I love I love how physical their tackles are. Their guards are athletic. They got a great center. Obviously, Derrick Henry, man, the kid is an absolute bull. He seems to get better and better as the season goes on, as the games go on. He just wears you down. He's that prototypical. I mean, the guy's like 6'3", like 260 pounds. I mean, he's huge. The Pats have a hard time wrapping up, Pat Laird. It's like they make Mark Ingram look like, Jim Brown. Or it's just like this defense at times makes Devontae Parker look like, holy cow, this guy looks like Raymond Barry out there, for crying out loud. It's like, what are we doing? But then there's moments when you see glimpses of just absolute brilliance. Teams can't even breathe. Teams can't even do anything, right? Go back to the last Super Bowl, man, against the Rams. I don't care. I don't care about last week. And guess what? Neither does New England. Okay? So if you think for a second that Tom and Co. and those guys don't have a tremendous chip on their shoulder, if you don't think they're ready to play and play hard and compete at a high level, man, that's exactly what they need. That's exactly what Tom needs. That's exactly what he wants. The last thing he needs is for someone to doubt him. Like, why do you guys continue to do this? Why don't you just like even fake it and just say, man, they're the best? Like, just pretend that they don't exist, because the more they do listen, they do hear you guys. The more you speculate or you hate, it's like, man, we know better. We know better. I'm going to say it's going to be a grind of a game, man. It's going to be a weird game. I think they're going to have to kind of gimmick their way to some points. I think Brady's sharp. I think he might have a mental mistake early. I don't know that it'll translate into a turnover, to an interception or a fumble. But I do think we're able to overcome that. And I think the final score ends up being somewhere around like 23-20, 23-17, somewhere in that range. I'm gonna go with 23-17 New England, 6-point game. I don't know how it's gonna be at the end, if they're gonna take a 6-point lead at the end. I'm gonna go with it's 23, 9 late or something like that, and Tennessee kind of makes it look closer on the scoreboard, or maybe not. It doesn't matter. 23-17 is my final. That's my first kind of official prediction on the game. I'm going to break down a little bit more in terms of the box score and who I think is going to do what. And I'm going to kind of get into a little bit of a specific position-by-position breakdown. A little bit over the hour mark. This was the first time I kind of just wung it. Just kind of did it off the cuff. We'll see what develops. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna just try to grow and develop, and I really appreciate you guys' feedback and support, man. Good vibes. Just good energy, man. Just try to do what you guys do. Don't let anyone get in your way, man. Especially yourself. I would say that's the main thing. Get out of your own way. Okay, I'm going to do that. I pledge, I promise I'm going to do that. And if you're trying to do that too, just, let's do it together, man. Let's do it together. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys a ton, man. Good energy.
Woke up this morning and I started thinking that I had a choice to make. What path I'm taking, what words I'm saying composing my destiny. Starting to wonder, how can I do this? Which way is the right way? I chose to let go of all that I know. I set my past on fire today. I'm gonna light it free. I'm gonna light it free. I'm gonna light it free. Gonna light it free, light it free. Gonna light it free, light it free. Woke up this morning and I decided the time is only now. I stopped complaining, now concentrating on raising my frequency. Shut off the TV so that I could see all of life's beauty. It's time to explore, and I wanna know more. Got a taste of inner peace. I'm gonna light it free. I'm gonna light it free. I'm gonna light it free. Gonna light it free, light it free. Gonna light it free, light it free.
Thank you guys so much for listening, man. It's the SJ Primetime Show. Like, rate, subscribe, share, do whatever. Dislike, unsubscribe. Don't share. Don't care, baby. 2020. This is about me. This is about my people. This is about you. If you're one of my people, man, let's get after it together, man. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. SJ Primetime out.